Hello everybody and welcome to my channel ElleonaQuest. My name is Elle or Elena, whichever you prefer, and today we'll be talking about Don't Starve Together, which is the multiplayer version of this game Don't Starve, released in 2013 by and developed by Clay Entertainment, an awesome developing company who make other amazing games that I really enjoy. So Don't Starve Together was actually inspired by Minecraft and Tim Burton, the filmmaker, and I think you can actually see that through the artwork and the details. But apart from that, the game really is amazing. So we're gonna take a look at this menu and the world building. So we're gonna talk about that. Okay, first up we have browse games, where you can actually browse other people's worlds, and that is if you're playing online. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, the game is available on Steam for a really reasonable price. You can get discounts and bundles and buy other games from Clay Entertainment, which is amazing. So let's take a look at browse games. You will get a list of servers, worlds that our people made, that you can join. Once you click on, for example, let's do it. Yep, let's do it. This one says everyone is welcome. It is day 4, early autumn, which is awesome. Autumn is really the season that you want to go for if you're new. You can see mods that are enabled. We're going to talk about mods a bit more. You can view tags of the game, so this basically tells you a bit more about the game. You can view the world, like the specifics of the world, and you can view players and filter server name. And as you can see here, it is endless, which I think is the best way to play the game. So yeah, these are you can also filter your search. You can, for example, playstyle you want. If you only want competitive, for example, you click here, you get a number of, this is the symbol for competitive, like a spear, which is great. You can also filter seasons, player versus player, see here's off, and so on, if it's password protected. And you can basically adjust your search to find the world most suitable to you. If you're not into that kind of thing, you can host your own world, which we are going to talk about a bit more here. So, because the others, the item collection, I think the next most important are options, where you can customize your game playing experience, settings, controls, and languages currently available: English and simplified Chinese. Alright, next up, host game. Let's host a game. What does that mean? That means that you click on new world and you get this question: what's your server's playstyle? The difference, this is basically Don't Starve's equivalent, Don't Starve Together's equivalent of like difficulty. And social is the most mild. This is a friendly chatter, relaxed play style, and this is good if you are getting to know the game. If you're new, I highly recommend this one. Cooperative is also cool. This is a bit on the well, cooperative side. It's still fine. Competitive is a bit on a harder side, like as it says here. It's a perfect arena for a fair fight. So that's cool if you're into that. And lastly, we have madness, as it says, as you can tell by the name and the description, anything goes on this server. So this is difficult like play style, because a lot of things can go wrong. Like you will have more random things that can potentially kill you, and you have to deal with that, which is awesome. Later on, if you want to challenge yourself, that is a great way to start. Once you have chosen, you click on that. For example, I'm gonna click social, and then this window will open up. Server playstyle, it says social. Here you rename your world. You can say whatever you want, like you can name it world, just as simple as that. Lastly, you can add a description. Then you can add description if you don't, but it's not something that you have to have. You don't have to. If you do add it, other players that search your game on the browse tab, in the browse world tab, are going to see your description. Next we have you choose how you want other people to access or how you want to be viewed. Public, anybody can find you on the browse world section, and join you, which can be a lot of fun. If you find a group of people that way and meet new people to play with, that's awesome. Friends only, so obviously people who friended you are going to be able to join your world. Local only, it's self-explanatory, as well as team group, where you're gonna have to add a bit more of information. But for the sake of this intro, we're gonna click public and then game mode. So survival is the first one. Survival, actually, we survive and we die together. You enter the world through the florid postern. So florid postern is like a gate into this world, and that's where you spawn. Then it says if you die, you become a ghost, and other people will see you as a ghost, other players. And if you are in their proximity, you will drain their sanity as ghosts do. So that's a fun feature. Your friends will thank you for that, I think. Next we have wilderness. Wilderness is awesome, but you don't spawn at the floor of postern, but you spawn anywhere. So random location in the world, anywhere in the world, no safety net. If you die, you try again. So yes, if you die, you will respawn somewhere in the world. So that's a fun thing to do if you are up for a challenge. And lastly, we have endless, and my favorite, endless. You spawn at a florid postern. If you die, you become a ghost, but you don't drain sanity to your team players, which is awesome. And you can respawn, you can resurrect yourself at the florid postern. So if you click as a ghost, if you haunt the florid postern, because that's a thing, when you're a ghost you haunt things, of course, naturally, as it goes, and then you haunt the florid postern by clicking on it, and you resurrect. At the place where you died, you will drop all of your things, so everything that you have, it will be dropped, but you can go obviously back and pick it up. But this is a bit like, it's not good to die, especially in winter, and we're gonna talk about it in another it's a story for another time. So endless is the best option in my opinion. The next feature is player versus player. So P versus PvP. This is off at the moment, it can be on. It's pretty self-explanatory. You will be able to attack other players and they will be able to attack you. Lastly, we have, well, not lastly, but to the end, towards the end, we have players. Number of players, currently at 6, that's the max. You can go as low as 1, as high as 6, and that of course limits the number of people that can join your world. And password. You can add a password to your world. That way, obviously, anybody who wants to join, this way you can restrict like the access to your world. Anybody who wants to join needs to have a password, which you can share with your friends, your online friends, or whoever you want to play with. Next tab, these were settings. Next tab is forest. So this is basically your world. Here is where you make your world. Forest world, that is basically the surface, I'd say. You can actually like customize anything here, like branches, size. I always put huge because that's the best option. It's also large, medium, and small. With huge, you have a lot of things, a lot of space to explore, which is awesome. How long are the seasons? What is the starting season? Day type, like whether you want a long day, long dusk, long night, and so on. Rain, lightning, wildfires, frog rain, which is a nightmare. Frog rain is a nightmare. World regrowth, so how the world heals itself, because if you're playing for a very long time, you will use up resources, but the world takes care of itself as it does. So yeah, these are some of the things. Then you have forest resources like grass, saplings, tumbleweed, reeds, flint, and so on. Each of these has its own use, and they are useful. meteor frequency is kind of, well, the use is questionable, but fine. It's good. Forest food. These are the foods that are going to be found in the forest. Cacti are painful to pick, but tasty to eat, so as it goes. Forest animals, rabbits, moles, butterflies, birds, you can, and as I said, you can control any of it. So you can customize the appearance of anything that happens in the world, even the monsters, which are can be fun, like spiders, they're easy to tackle. A bit less fun, like the merbs and clockworks, and then no fun at all, like the antlion, and well, actually the dragonfly. I'd say the dragonfly is the most nightmarish of them all. So yeah, once you have customized this particular section of your world, you click on the next one. The third tab is caves. Now, caves, as the name says, is the underground portion of your world. You can add them, or you can opt not to add them. If you do, as it says, the game will run on multiple servers at the same time, and you gotta have a decent computer to be able to run it. So here, as similar to the previous, the forest, you can also customize anything you want. Earthquakes, touchstones, failed survivors, disease, and so on. You can also, the size is huge, is good, but the caves are already huge and daunting on their own, so kind of as you wish. Cave resources are pretty much the same as surface resources, except for mushroom trees, which can be green, blue, and red, each with their specific features that we're going to talk about. Next, we have light flowers, which provide light, cave ferns, and glowberries. And cave food, pretty much the same, except for bananas and lichen, which are the additions, and cave animals, which are no fun at all. Like none of these except for the Rocky. Rockies have a special place in my heart, as they've helped me numerous times. So next we have cave monsters. And yeah, you can also, as I said, you can actually customize any of these, or just leave it at default, which is, I believe, the best way to play the game. Next we have mods. So you can access new mods, because you're gonna get the game with no mods. You can click on get mods, and here's some like health info, minimap HUD. Notice in the top mods, like the most used, and they're all very useful. You can get more mods by clicking here, and it's gonna open a Steam window, and in Steam you can search for new mods, subscribe, which is free for new mods, and then they're gonna appear depending on whether they're server mods or client mods, going to appear in one of these two menus. So client mods, I'm going to talk about them first. Some of the most useful that I found are combined status. So this displays your health, hunger, sanity, temperature, seasons, moon phase, and world day. All very useful information for the successful survival of your character. It's gonna appear like this. You can get the heart for health, and you're gonna number of health, like how much health points you have, how many health points you have left. Next is minimap HUD, which is the convenient minimap in the upper right corner of your screen, where you can always access the map. Like for me, it's button M. For you, might be something else. You can always access it. But it's more convenient to have it in like a mini map on your screen as you play. And last, for the client mods, is Smart Crockpot, which is amazing. It actually gives you the opportunity to predict your cooking, which is, I think, something that all of us need in real life. So once you put your ingredients in the crockpot, those 4 ingredients that you want, you click on predict or OK, depending on the mod that you're using. For me, it's predict. And then it gives you the result of your recipe. So what is it that you're making? What tasty food are you feeding your characters? And it also prevents you from wasting food, as if you see the result to be goo or, I don't know, monster lasagna, which is not very good for most characters, then you can just change your recipe or follow some recipes on the internet that you can find on the Don't Starve Wikipedia, which is amazingly useful. And next we have server mods. Okay, so as I said, these three, for some reason I have two mini maps, never mind. These three are the most useful that I've found. Next we have server mods here. Okay, so the most useful are global pause staging, because the game itself doesn't have a pause button, like it doesn't have the pause feature. Once you start playing, you're playing. Like there are no bathroom breaks, there's no nothing, water breaks. You're just playing, and that's it. So you're gonna have somebody guarding your character so it doesn't die, because once you click escape and think you're pausing, the game just continues without you, and your character dies, probably from darkness. Okay. So this is a very useful one, and once you hit pause, the game is paused for everybody involved in the game, in the world. Next we have global positions, which is also useful when you're playing in a group. It shows player arrows when the scoreboard is up, and it shows you the players on the minimap and the big map, and it shows you campfires and fire pits fueled by charcoal, which is also very useful if you kind of like going through the darkness and you can't find your fire pit and you're about to get eaten by Charlie. This feature could save your character's life. Next we have health info, so we're gonna click that and enable that health info. Health info doesn't show you your health. That's another feature, but it shows you the health of the creatures you mouse over. Like if you move your mouse over a spider, it's going to show you if it has all 150, I think, or 100 health points that it usually has, or it has been damaged or attacked by something, to gonna finish him and take that sweet silk. Alright, next I think, so we have increased stack size, which is good because usually you can carry 40 items stacked up in one slot, but this allows you like to up to 99, which I feel like, yeah, up 99, which is an amazing feature, especially if you're always like me struggling with space. Like I have the backpack and I have my the regular slots, but I'm always missing space for characters in this actually. And when you go on researching errands and gathering errands, you can actually find this very useful. Next we have global, oh no, we already talked about that, global positions, whatever, yeah, auto stack up and pick up. This mod gives you the opportunity, like the most useful feature is that when you, for example, chop trees and 3 logs are produced from the chopped tree, you actually get the logs are all stacked up onto one pile, and then you just run over it and pick it up, no fuss, no muss, and it's very, very useful. Alright, that's about it about mods. The other that you see here, something that I've played with recently, something that I toyed with the idea of a giant size map or an island adventures or something like that, but they haven't really worked for me yet. I haven't, I mean, people drop new mods every day, so just pay attention to whatever you're looking for and somebody's gonna make it. Or you feel free to make it yourself if you're into that kind of thing, if you know to do that would be awesome. Lastly, we have rollback, which is empty now because we haven't played a single day in this world. But once, for example, I have a world that I've played before, so I click just world and rollback. So I've played 19 days, actually 20 days probably, because the last one that isn't shown. Once I can click here, for example, so it asks me, do you want to restore this save? You will load all changes made to the world past the selected date, as well as all subsequent events. This cannot be undone, and I'm gonna click no. And you can basically, if you messed up, like if you screwed up your base, like I did occasionally, I do, then you can just roll back and play from a specific day, from the morning of a specific day, which is, I think, an awesome feature that is really, really very, very useful. So yeah, that would be all. So we have lost our world. Never mind. So we're Okay, so we're gonna leave it like this. We're gonna check out the characters. That is the one thing that we have left. Alright, so there are 17 characters in this game. We're not gonna talk about them in detail right now because I'm gonna make a separate video explaining the characters. But we are gonna look over them and like see our options because that is part of starting a game. And what I recommend for a beginner is the first character that we're gonna get. Actually, in Don't Starve Together, all of them are unlocked. But in Don't Starve single player, you start with Wilson, who is a gentleman scientist, as you will see right now, hopefully soon. So you start with Wilson, you have to work your way to the other characters. Like you have to keep Wilson alive or some other character alive for a specific number of days to be able to get the other characters. And if you have ever played this game, that is effing hard. It's not easy to keep a character alive. Okay, so here's Wilson. Wilson is a pretty decent starting character. You have nothing in hand. He has 200 sanity, which I think in the beginning, at least for me, was the hardest thing to maintain, like sanity, because they go crazy real fast. So yeah, Wilson grows a magnificent beard that in summer you have to shave because he's gonna overheat. In winter, I recommended leaving it because he's gonna get some warmth out of it. And once you shave it, you get beard hair, I think, which sounds gross, but you can actually use for to build some things in the game. Next week is my girl Willow, my favorite girl in the game, who isn't getting enough love on the internet. People hate her because he goes crazy pretty quickly. He has 120 sanity and he just goes nuts and starting fires all over the place. And she is the fire starter. She comes with a letter and her teddy bear, which we will explore on a different occasion. Now we're gonna leave it a mystery. Wolfgang is a strong man. He becomes really strong once his belly is full. So keep this dude healthy and keep him not hungry, and he's gonna pay off real quick. Wendy, I think, is the second most useless character in the game. She has her dead sister's ghost, who spawns from this pretty flower. She is weak and, yep, doesn't hit very hard. Yeah. Next we have our automaton, who is kind of good, but I don't like him very much. I've actually played with him once, I think. Not my favorite, but you can, if you'd like, you can choose him. Next we have the librarian, who actually goes also crazy pretty quickly, and it's actually very hard to keep her sane because she knows a lot of things. She knows actually everything. You don't need to prototype almost anything with her, so you don't get the sanity buff from prototyping, like this, the bonus or whatever. So yeah, but she's good for. She actually really does know many things. So yeah, the description is very accurate. Delicate stomach. She cannot eat everything. Woody, my man Woody, has a lovely ex named Lucy. You cannot see that here, but he talks to her often and has a dark secret which we will uncover in her next video. Next we have West, the most useless most useless character in the whole game. He cannot talk, he cannot fight, he can only run maybe. He has trouble staying alive, and he makes balloons. So I guess that makes it worthwhile. Anyway, not my while. Next is Maxwell. Maxwell is actually the antagonist from the single player version. You have to earn him through quests and survival. You have to solve a puzzle or something to access Maxwell. And he's kind of good. He has his moments. This is difficult to play with as his health is only at 75 and everything in this world kills you. So yeah, do the math. Next we have Wickfried. Wickfried is awesome, not a fighter. She absorbs the power of fallen foes. That is very true. She actually, when you start smacking things around, creatures around, monsters actually, on the head, she starts gaining sanity, and it's awesome. But she only eats meat, which can be a daunting task to keep her fed. Next is Weber, our boy spider. He is a monster, can befriend spider, but he has he is attacked much like this other character Wirt. They're attacked by pigs, which is not a very fortunate thing. Actually, unlike Wirt, Weber can grow a smooth beard. Like Wilson, you're gonna shape this guy and get some sweet, sweet silk from him, which also, once again, sounds disgusting, but is very useful. Next up is Winona, my favorite character. Her and like I noticed that it's girls, like the female characters, my favorite characters, which is not a case. I love me some strong man. He's good. He's also very good. Winona is one of the newer characters. I think they introduced her last year. She's awesome, and she's a skilled builder. She has like a time buff. When she's not hungry, she builds things really fast, and that's awesome. Next we have Warley. Warley is the chef of the group, and he's good as a one of the group. Like if you play with multiple people, he's good that we have one Warley, as he has his own crook pot. He can cook food really early in the game, but other than that, he's absolutely useless. Next is Wartox, who is our imp. Looks a bit like Krampus. And yeah, that's all about him. He's an interesting character. Next we have Wormwood, who relates to plants, or does plants relate to him? He is not bad, but also is one of the group. Like he, as a standalone character, as one player game, he kind of gets. I think he loses sanity when you chop down trees, which is not a good trait to have, especially in the beginning when you're going to be chopping a lot of trees. This is not a good feature to have. So yeah, I mean, to each their own. He's a good, decent character. Wirt we've mentioned. He's the swamp equivalent of Weber. He is a vegetarian, and that's about it. Not a bad character to play with, but is attacked by pigs. This is a new character actually, which I haven't played with yet, and I think I'm gonna try him out in a video, which will be very fun. And it says that he's not afraid of anything except getting hurt, which I think is the only scared that counts. He's a good with slingshot, which you get, and some stones, and I'm guessing he will be able to throw stones or something like that, or with the stones like that you find. Okay, he's not bad. He has rather low hunger and high sanity, a relatively high sanity, but health is not that. Okay, well, seems like a decent character. So the last option is random. Like click this and you get any character. Any of these, you could get any of these. Once you choose a character, you can dress him up. Look at my man Wilson with his badass like eye tattoo, eye makeup, whatever. You can dress him up. You unlock the wardrobe, like the outfits, shirt, gloves, pants, and shoes once you start playing the game. Throughout the game, you're gonna get notifications. You have a chest to open, and that's about it. That would be all for today's video. I would like to thank you very much for joining me today, and even Wilson is saying bye. I encourage you to check out my other videos, and I hope you guys had fun, learned a lot, and see you next time. Bye bye guys. And of course, if you like the video, like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. See you next time. Bye guys.